Welcome to the webinar for our 2012 program. Here you will learn about the many features included for this year's software. To install, go ahead and insert your TRX Pro 1040 2012 CD into your CD drive. For those of you who downloaded the program from the internet, go ahead and double-click the installation file. This will start the install wizard. We're just going to go ahead and give it a little time for it to load. We are going to go ahead and select the standalone installation. For the network installation, you can contact us to have one of our network techs go ahead and set up an install time for your network. Go ahead and accept the user rights agreements. Go ahead and select Next. Decide if you want to create a Start Menu folder icon. Go ahead and click Next. And this will begin the install process. Right here explains the minimum requirements for our tax program. Go ahead and view the specs and make sure your computer does meet the requirements. And you can go ahead and select to run the tax software. We'll say Finish. And that concludes the setup to install. When you open your software, the initial configuration window will appear. Here you can enter your firm's information. At the very end, there's a box to check if you're a previous TRX Pro user. Upon clicking that box, this will open the Performa window, which we'll go over later. At the registration details, you can enter your CID and PID, after which, go ahead and click Verify Now, and this will unlock all the features available for your package. Next, we'll click on Proceed to Login. Once your installation is done, if an update is available, you might be prompted to proceed by clicking Yes. As you can see, new updates are available. It asks you if you would like to go ahead and download them now. Go ahead and say Yes. At this screen, it displays your current version and the package installed. Go ahead and click here to download, and this will start the download of the update. Once the download of the update is complete, go ahead and run the download, and click on Update Package. Go ahead and click OK. And you can go ahead and start your software now. And as you will see, the update prompt is now gone. Once you are at the login screen, you may enter your username and password to log into the program. By default, the username is admin and the password is admin. Click the login button to enter. Make sure the date is correct and click Yes. In case you forget your password, the program allows you to recover it by following a series of simple steps. At the user screen, enter your security question and answer and click OK. Make sure to write these down. We will now go over the security settings for the program and show you different options available for group and user settings. First, click on Utilities and choose the option for Security Setup. On top of this window you have two different tabs, Group Configuration and User Configuration. Under the Group Configuration tab, you have the ability to modify groups, create a new group, and delete a group. You can start by choosing the available groups in which you'd like to modify the security settings for. For this example, I will select the beginner group. Now that we have the group selected, I can now modify the permissions I'd like to set for the selected group. As you can see, for the beginner group, only a select number of permissions are granted. You can modify these at your discretion. Once you are finished modifying the selected group, go ahead and click Save, and then click OK to modify. Select OK to acknowledge your change. Now we will go over the User Configuration tab. Here you have the ability to create a new user, modify a user, and delete a user. Let's look at the new user. Go ahead and enter a username, password, security question, and a security answer. Then choose to activate or deactivate the account. You may also add additional details such as address and phone number. The last step is to assign them to a group simply by checking the box by the group name. Double check your information and select OK. Now your user will appear in your user list. To edit this user, select the name and click Modify User. This will take you to the previous window. To delete, select the user and click Delete User. Check Yes, and the user is deleted. Please note that deleting a user will also delete the returns that the user created. You may move the returns from that user in the user return maintenance. In order to Performa, there are two different options to use the Performa tool. The first and simplest is to do it from the initial configuration window that appears when you run the program for the first time. At the bottom of the window you can find a box labeled Previous TRX Pro User. If you select the box, the Performa window will appear showing a list of returns created on TRX Pro 1040 for the tax year 2011. You may select whether you want to Performa the 1040, 1065, or 1120 returns. Select the return you wish to import into the software and click the Import button. Once the import is done, on the right hand side there is a status column. There you can see if the return was successful or not in the Performa process. For a more detailed report, you can click on the Open Log file. For the second option to do a Performa is to click on the Utilities button and select the Performa option. The Performa window will open, but this time it will be blank, giving you the option to select where you want to Performa from. And at this time you can follow the previous steps and it will work the same. Up next is the after the fact payroll. We will start by going over what is the after the fact payroll. It is a feature of our program which allows you to create W-2s, 1099s, 940s, 941s, 944s, W-3s, and 1096s. To go ahead and get started, you first do have to purchase the premium membership, which also includes our business forms. To open the after the fact payroll, simply click on the blue circle that has the $sign on it. Here up top you can enter the employer's information. After you've completed filling out the fields, go ahead and click Save. This will now populate into your employer's list. This list will continue to grow as you add more businesses. To create different forms for the highlighted business, go ahead and click the Create button. Here you can see a list of forms available to create for an employer. To add a form, simply click a form from the list and click Add Show. After you enter the appropriate information, go ahead and click Save. Hit OK, close. And now the form is in your forms list for that employer. To create W-2s and 1099s for employees, go back to the employer list and click Open. This will bring up the employee side, which works similarly to the employer side. Go ahead and enter some employee information and click Save. The employee will now populate in your employee list. Highlight the employee and click Create. This is where you can add your W-2 and 1099s. Highlight the W-2 or 1099 and click on Add Show. To delete a form you have already added, highlight the employee by double-clicking and click on the Delete Form button. Now choose the form you'd like to delete, then click the Delete button and confirm your choice. You can also check your forms by initiating the print preview, which will open the form in a PDF format. Here you will select the copy in which you would like to see the print preview of. Highlight it and go ahead and select OK. Please note that you should not print in the preview mode. Go ahead and select Preview to Print and OK. If you wish to print, go ahead and close out the PDF viewer and simply click the Print button. Select your form, select OK. Make sure your stock is in your printer and select Yes. And that summarizes the after the fact payroll. To create a new return, click on the New Return button. Once the information window appears, you may enter your taxpayer's information. You may choose to start a new return by using either the interview mode or the input mode, let's take a look at the interview mode. Once on interview mode, you may enter personal information, enter your dependents, and answer due diligence questions for both dependents and taxpayer. You can also enter W-2 information, preparer information, and refund and payment options. Finally, you can use the Filing Information tab to enter additional information for the taxpayer. Once done, you will click the Input mode, which will bring you into your tax return. Here you can see that all the information entered previously has been carried over. After reviewing the return or adding additional forms, you may look at a preview of your forms in a PDF format by clicking the Form Peek button. To add a form needed on your return, you have several different options. Option number 1 is to click on the Add Form from the button menu. This will open up the Forms window. Here you will find all the forms available to use on your return. Some forms are available to be used multiple times. These will give you an option to choose how many of the forms you wish to add. Select the form you'd like to use by double-clicking it and it will be added to your forms tree. The second option is to double-click on the line of a form which carries information from another form. We call this Forms Link. If you double-click on line 12 of Form 1040, for example, a window called Forms Link will appear. In it, you will find Schedule C and Schedule CEZ, which are forms that will carry their totals to line 12 of Form 1040. Select the form and click the Add Show button. To remove a form, select the form you'd like to delete, right-click it, and click on Remove said form. Select Yes to confirm, and now your form is deleted. Another way to remove the form is select the form, go up to your button bar, select Remove Form. Once again, confirm that you'd like to remove the form and select Yes. And that is also how you remove a form. To go ahead and get your states installed, first select the Utilities. Then go to Internet Option and select Download States. This will bring you to a page that has a list of all our states available for download. Select the state in which you wish to download. Once the download is complete, go ahead and run it. And click on Install State. Please note, in order to apply the updates, the application has to be closed. Then click Yes. And as you can see, your state is now installed. Go ahead and reopen your program. Now, in order to implement your state, you're going to have to open up a return, select the client, and go to the return information sheet. At the return information sheet, make sure federal and state is selected, and then click on Add or Remove State. Here you can see the list of states available that you have downloaded and installed into your program. The first column indicates for full year resident, non-resident, and part year resident. Go ahead and check which one applies, and select Add. To remove the state, you can select on the state, click Remove, and that's also how you remove a state. And once the state is added, you may select OK. And as you can see, the state is now in your forms tree. To access the color guide, click on the Help button and select the color guide. This will open the color guide menu. Here, an explanation is displayed regarding the different colors you'll see on the program. The editable entry color means that you can enter any amount, word, or descriptions. The non-editable entry color means that this line will automatically carry over information from another form or document. This can be overridden. The focus entry means that once you start typing, the program will try to recognize a previously written phrase or word to complete the entry for you. Overwritten entries will show a red frame surrounding the entry box. The mandatory entry color will always be displayed as red, meaning that the form will not be completed until information has been completed here. Incomplete and complete forms will show up as red and blue respectively on the forms tree. Inactive forms will be gray. Our program gives you the option to override amounts on fields that are automatic calculations. To override, you can right-click on your mouse and choose the override option, or you can simply press F11. To remove the override, right-click on your mouse and choose the unoverride option, or you may press F7. When overriding, calculations may not change automatically. To do this, you will need to click the Recalculate button at the bottom of your screen. Once it turns red, it means that the recalculation is in progress. To print preview, you will click on the Print button at the menu. Here you are given several options to either print or simply print preview your return. If you click on the Print Returns button, a window will appear with all the returns you have created. Here you may select them individually, or click the Select All button. Once a return has been selected, you will click OK, and the selected returns will be generated in a PDF format. And from here, you can go to File and then Print. You may also print returns to the file cabinet. You can select which forms you'd like to send to the file cabinet, and then press OK. Select Send to File Cabinet, and then OK once more. And that's how you send a return to the file cabinet. You can also select to print selected forms from within a return. If you wish to look at a preview of your full return, click on the Print Preview of Return, or you can press Ctrl-P. You can also look at previews of individual forms, or you can press Ctrl-Shift-P. To backup and restore a return, start by going to File and select Backup, or you can press Ctrl-B. This will bring up the backup screen. Select the user in which you'd like to backup clients for. Select the clients you'd like to backup. If you'd like, you may also choose the pathway of the backup. Once you are finished, click Done, and a message box will show, letting you know that the backup was created successfully. Click OK. Now to restore a file, once again click File, Restore Return, or you can press Ctrl-Shift-B. And this will bring up a box for you to select the folder that holds your backup. Select the backup you'd like to restore, then click Choose File. Select the clients you wish to restore and click Done. If the client already exists, it will ask you if you'd like to override the client. Answer yes or no. And that is how you restore a return. This program also has an auto backup feature which you may enable by going to Utilities and then select Auto Backup. Select the On Radio button and then choose the destination of your auto backup. After you choose the destination, click Choose Directory and then press OK. The program will now back up every time you exit the program. We'll now go over the user return maintenance. Here you have the ability to remove your clients by checking the box, clicking Delete File, and confirming that you want to delete the client. Please note that this will permanently delete the client unless you have a backup to restore from. Next, we'll go over the Move to User feature. Check the file that you'd like to move. You're going to select the destination user, and then click on Move File. As you can see, that file is now under a different user. In this case, the user is guest. Next, we have the Reindex tool. The reindex tool will actually just rebuild your client list. Another option with our program is the change user feature. With this feature, you no longer need to close the program to change between multiple user accounts that have been created. To go to the change user, click on File, and drop down to the change user, or you can press Ctrl U. Here you're going to select the username you'd like to switch to, enter the password, and then click Login. On the right side we have the Upload/Download button. This permits you to send and receive returns between multiple computers or offices. To upload a return, check the client that you wish to upload, select Upload, and it will inform you that your client has been successfully uploaded. To download a return, select the client you'd wish to download and click Download. And your client has been downloaded into your client list now. Now let's talk about the file cabinet. The file cabinet will give your office the ability to become a paperless office. You can now import electronic copies of your returns into the filing cabinet, where they can be stored securely inside your computer. You can then visit the file cabinet whenever you need a copy of your client's return. To access the file cabinet, just click on the file cabinet menu option. Here you're going to expand your username. You're going to select the type of return, and then select the client you wish to print. To print, you're going to click on the return and click View. This will open it in a PDF format so that you can view it and then print it out. Next, we are going to go over the Reports menu. Within this option, there are many types of reports you can generate about your clients. To generate a report, you will need to select the type of return you want. You then must click on the Generate button located on the lower right of the screen. This will generate the selected report. After this, you must hit the Print button so that you are able to print preview the report. From within this preview is when you will be able to print the return you have requested. We'll now go over the Edit Default Return. To access the default return, go to Utilities and select the Edit Default Return. Here you're going to select the type of return you'd like to edit for the default return. Inside you'll be able to preload your preparer information, set up price lists, and your custom letter. You may also select a small amount of forms you'd like to set as a default for every time you open, for example, a 1040. To e-file a return, after its completion, run the auto error check. If any errors populate, you first have to take care of the required type of errors before you can e-file. As you can see, the error rejection code we have here is required, and it's on the form Client Information Sheet. If we click on the required link button, this will take us to the area that needs attention. In this case, we forgot to select the filing status. Once you have made the correction, go ahead and click Reevaluate. Now you're free to click the MEF button. After you click the MEF button, go ahead and close the return. Go to e-file up top and click on Send e-file. If we were to have created that e-file, it would populate right here. We would check the box and click Send. Afterwards, we'd go to our e-file center. After logging into the e-file center, the return would be in the Awaiting Transmission tab, where you can check the box and click Transmit. To log into the e-file center, first enter your username and password. If this is your first time logging in, please click on the First Time Logging In link. This will prompt you to enter your CID and PID, which you may have received in your email, or it may be located on your CD case. After you enter your CID and PID, it will prompt you to create a login. Once logged in, you will be in the eFile Center. If you'd like to add multiple users, you can click Security, and then click Add, enter their first name and last name, and then pick them a username. You can also select the areas of the filing center you'd wish for them to have access to. Once you are finished, go ahead and click Submit. And they will be added in your user list. Now that your security is set up, let's go over the rest of the eFile Center. First, you will have to select what system you would like to view. In this case, we have System 1040 selected. Here at the overview, you have 3 different tables. The new table shows any information every time you log into the eFile Center. Acknowledgements are from the IRS, acknowledging that the return has been received by the IRS. Confirmation letters show if a return has been accepted or rejected, and alerts are for getting a mass message out to our users. Next is the pending table. These selections show the various stages of the e-file. Next, we have awaiting transmissions. Awaiting transmissions is for returns that have been transmitted to the EFC but have not been sent out to the IRS. AX stands for acknowledgements. As you can see, we included multiple ways of navigating the eFile Center. At the database selection, you can break down the entire database of e-files in multiple different categories, including federal, state, bank, and common. At the Bank tab, you can opt to enroll for a bank or set a bank as your default. Reports are broken into 2 main categories, EF, which stands for e-file, and bank, which on the EF you can go to acknowledgements, your EF summary, and transmissions. And under the bank side, you can find reports for product disbursements, funding discrepancies, prepare fees from the bank to keep track of your income, and your outstanding prepare fees. To log out, simply click Log Out. And that concludes our 2012 webinar. We thank you all for watching, and if you have any further questions, please contact us at customersupport@trxsoftware.com. Thank you.